The Elestriad's playoffs are reaching a fever pitch, and the results of today's clash will shock you. Let's see who has the knockout card pool as the Emperowatts Captain, MBT, faces the team's fire tamer, Werts. Hey look, I found a way to stay in the playoffs! Our casters today have a chance to let their decks keep them in the playoffs though, instead of keeping Dan locked up in the basement with the Gorgon's Gaze. Gorgon's Gaze is a fantastic rune to keep the CEO of Elestrals stuck between a rock and a hard place, and Nectar of the Gods can help you draw into it as well as Poison Tipped Arrow. And all of these cards are getting new artwork, full artwork, found in the new set Daybreak. Visit shopelestrals.com and pre-order your boxes today for your chance to pull your full arts when the set releases August 16th. The card pools are as expanded as they're going to get, so let's see how deep these casters dug into their card pool for today's quarterfinals clash.
Well, folks, I never ever wanted to have to do this, but as the Captain of the Emperowatts, it's now my solemn duty to send them to the underworld. I'll be beginning with Werts. Werts is a frightening individual. I believe he ended the Elestriad with the same record as me, which is horrifying given that his card pool is a bunch of garbage that you might find at the bottom of a sewer. He won a lot of games off of Helios's Chariot Ride, which is a horrifying card, and I hope I don't have to come face to face with it, but I do have a plan for if that happens. So I'm playing Thunder Nexus. That shouldn't surprise anyone. My pool basically mandates that I play this deck. You can see we've got the 3 Astrabbit, just unbelievable, 3 Sparkit as well, 3 Elichick, we've got 3 Jolton, and we're also playing 2 Toxeon. Kept going back between 1 and 2 of this in the actual Elestriad proper, but I honestly am thinking of bumping it up to 3. So many board states, especially against these water decks where you just want to sit, like you can't necessarily get over a Smoltuga and you never want to commit to the board, so just looping Toxeon with Sparkit is unbelievable. We've got 3 Zeus, 3 Race to the Top, 2 Mount Olympus, 3 EQ, 1 Tsunami, the one thing I'm a little upset about, but should be fine against Werts. I think the core of most of his decks has been water regardless. 3 Altar of Stars, unbelievable we have this. 3 Shield of Achilles, 2 Gorgon's Gaze. I'm playing 2 Resting on Your Laurels main, just an all-around good removal spell. I also think there's a lot of scenarios against Werts where theoretically he can set up some defensive Elestrals that aim to keep him in the game long enough to find like a combo piece that sets up an OTK. I'm playing 2 copies of Ambrosia, and then I'm playing a little bit of spice, 2 copies of Divine Blessing. So I pulled a number of these over the course of the Elestriad, and I never really got a chance to try them out, but the short of it is they counter an invoke rune that has been activated, right? This, I think, is going to be a sufficient counter to a lot of what Werts is trying to do in terms of OTK strategies. Like, I'm really scared that he's just going to try and, like, Blazerous OTK me. But also it checks cards like Eruption, which I think are pretty likely to make an appearance. In fact, I'm so confident they're going to make an appearance. I'm actually playing 1 Vipyro in the Spirit deck just because, you know, God forbid I actually have to play around cards in the Elestriad. I think that... I mean, looking back to all of his decks, anything that he's playing is going to be relying on a substantial draw engine that is bolstered by invoke runes that we could specifically, like, get him on. Also means that it checks, like, a really powerful removal tool on Astrabbit, which I think has the potential to run away with the game. So, excited to try those main. They were boxes until the last minute, but I'm interested to see if they perform. The sideboard plan we have is pretty simple. We have the 3rd Olympus in case either he's on water, playing like guys with big butts, or Rise from Atlantis, or we get into Stadium Wars. A lot of scenarios where that could happen. I think Poisoned Nectar could conceivably come up in a scenario where like he's got a huge draw engine. T-Storm, I'm actually really scared of Bag of Winds, which he's been playing around with. I had to face this in the last Elestriad out rounds when Shady Penguin did it to me, and just nice to have an all-around rune removal that could theoretically target it in a world where he's invested a ton of them. I'm not playing the Bronticlos, though. I'm not Swolax. 2 Nectar of the Gods in case none of this pans out and I'm completely wrong about what he's playing. This is just kind of an all-around good card that can sub in when I'm going first for the restings. I think Quackle could conceivably come up if we are on, like, Burn. I'm playing 3 Box here. I think there's a lot of decks in Werts' arsenal that Box just randomly tends to get, and I did pull the full playset, so I might as well play it. Then we're playing 1 copy of Sonicore. This is actually from the I think the prototype box. I pulled it in that video I made with Danny way back when. It's not legal. You can't play this in actual Elestrals events, but I think they'll let me bend the rules on this. I'm not fully sold on Sonicore. I think that it's really good in like control mirrors. The problem with it, I think, is that my deck really wants to play counter runes as well. So while I can see some scenarios where I just need an extra big body, I think he's the least likely card in the side deck that is going to come in.
Piloting arguably the strongest deck in the entire game right now, MBT is bringing Thunder Nexus. As he said though, I cannot believe he's been able to get 3 Altar of Stars. If anything gives him the edge in this clash, it's that. The Thunderstorm in the side deck is a smart play considering his opponent, but Caleb.exe tried to predict his opponent last week and lost. Does MBT have the read right this time?
So you think I will just fall over like a fool to my team captain, but no, the Werts villain arc starts today. Mr. MBT, I don't expect you to win. I expect you to die! Okay, is die a little too harsh? I expect you to lose to this guy. We're playing fruit. Alright, quarterfinals versus MBT. I think you kind of see it off the bat. We're playing fruit Lakagon stall. So, word is, a couple of people have told me it has a decent matchup against Thunder Nexus, especially with all the draw power the deck has, kind of control cards. And since I'm lacking Tsunami, which is a big like oof that I traded off to Trish because he had a harder matchup. He needs Tsunamis earlier in the team portion, and I didn't pull Tsunami. So Tsunami is really going to come back to bite me in the butt here. So I had to find a way to build a deck to find all my removal and all my counter runes that I do have as soon as possible to help deal with the board state. So we're going Fruit Engine, Lock on Stall. So we have a Jotaya, all 6 Ambrosias, Rabbits, 3 Jotagwas, 2 Suggles, 2 Lakagon, 2 Foamy, that's all I got, 2 Galaxy, I do have 3, but it's hard to fit everything in the deck together, and I have such a powerful draw engine, I should be able to find it. 1 Mestation, that's all I got, 2 Atlantis, 2 Rise from the Depths to go with the Lakagon Ascension combo, 2 Resting, 3 Earthquake, 3 Shield, 2 Gorgons, and 2 P-Gust. We are going to P-Gust the Zeus and P-Gust the Stadium. The biggest kind of flaw I think I'm going to have trouble with this matchup is if he sticks a Stadium for too long, his guys will have enough stats to get over some of my smaller walls like Jotaya and Jotagwa. And then additionally, like Jolton can trade with Galaxy. So I do need to get rid of Stadiums, and I need to get rid of Zeus. So P-Gust is my Zeus tech initially. Like normally I'm going to have to use P-Gust for Zeus tech, and then hopefully just match Atlantis to his races with all my draw power. You know, best case scenario, I start with Jotaya and defense. I go like Ambrosia Cornucopia into normal Ambrosia, recover all the spirits, draw a ton, get advantage off the start. And late game, it's, you know, play Rise from the Depths to get Lock-On into play through an Ascension, and then drop Ambrosias or Jotagwas after to start popping cards and combo that way. So we're basically just playing a super walled up stall deck that is just going to heal a ton and hopefully combo my opponent to death. And then if I can't combo to death, I'm going to draw all my removal and just blow up his late game board and start punching with a bunch of little guys with the rest of my back row to protect it. So we're just kind of running little guys into punch and using removal to get rid of his board as we go. So that's the idea of the deck. I just got to make sure I set everything face down that can get ripped and go from there. So I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. I definitely think Lock-On has a decent matchup against Nexus in general. So that's what I'm running, and I put the Fruit Engine because I gotta represent Fruit. It's what I'm known for. So I'm playing a Fruit deck, and I don't have Latagon, so we had to go with a Water version, which I've been playing this deck just to test it, and it does pretty well. So that's what we're doing. And then my side deck is going to be, we're going to switch it up after he sees the Jotaya stall plan. If he has Poison Nectars in his side deck, stuff like that, and he expects to see a very stally game, we're going to switch it up into Burn. So we have 5 by Pyro, a small Tuga, a Necruff to be searched by, 3 Eruptions, and a Krakatuga, and that's our backup strategy. So game 1 he sees stall, he's expecting a slow control matchup, and then we're going to switch it up in game 2 and just go, while he's trying to collect pieces that are going to basically be null and void, like Poison Nectar to counter Jotagwa and stuff, or Jotaya, stuff like that. We're going to switch it up into a burn package that's not going to draw a ton of cards, and we're just going to go find Krakatuga, Eruptions, and burn them out with a more standard water beatdown kind of strategy and go from there. So that's the backup plan / the surprise game 2 switch up. See you guys in the match.
This build is so Werts coded, it hurts in the best way possible. The best build of fruit he can put together, but substituting Lotagon with Locagon. If I could trade you my Lotagon's Werts, I would. I do love the pivot to burn potential in the side as well. A surprise Trekatuga into Eruption can throw off even the greatest caster. The clash begins. Werts takes the front position, and he's going to be beginning with his first cast, which it is a foamy. Let's see the reaction from MBT right there. Audibly saying foamy. So he already knows that there is some shenanigans going on here. It's not a simple fire build, or maybe he's thinking that foamy could just lead into Smotuga and go into the fire build that way. Regardless, Estrabit, the best opening play a caster can get, but he is putting the Estrabit into attack position. Whether or not the attack position is bait, or he is forecasting that an earthquake is going to be coming down to take out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the earthquake is going to be immediately the attack position. Estrabit pretty much yelled that. It is curious to know if he does. Yep. That's what I was going to say, if he does have Altar of Stars and Mount Olympus in his hand. So now, not only does he have Mount Olympus and Estrabit ready to go, but he has potentially an Altar of Stars to give himself another pull into the back row. So he has to be sitting pretty right now with this 3/6 Estrabit. He is going to be casting. Oh, okay. This is what Werts did talk about. He was planning on using Pegasus to take out the Zeus, and I'm guessing here he wants to use it on the Mount Olympus, taking away the Nexus target. I'm sure Werts is aware that Altar of Stars is at 3 in MBT's list. We are going to see the destruction of Mount Olympus, not even trying to go for the altar here and just put Rabbit in defense. So that makes me wonder if altar does exist in the back row. I saw Earthquake. Okay, I did see Earthquake come down, and it's going to be casted out, taking out the Estrabit. Unfortunately, the Pegasus is in defense already, so he can't poke in for an extra damage, but that may not be the worst thing in the world right now. At the same time, with an Elestriad coming down, the Pegasus is going to go down the other way, and you wouldn't take any damage either way. So perhaps the attack position, Pegasus was the better decision, but maybe the thought didn't cross Werts' mind at the time. Regardless, Stone Tablet Zeus, such a beautiful card from the Thunder Shattered Stars pack. Already sold out, by the way, unfortunately, which I still need to get a third one myself. But it is going to come down, and Nexus looks like that's 3 under the Zeus. So another reason to make me believe that Altar of Stars is live, because he just activated that for essentially no reason otherwise, as in no reason to use the Zeus. Dratagua is going to cast out here, and that's going to allow Werts to heal up 2 waters. Very good play. It's essentially a +1 in terms of play. And now MBT has to either feel comfortable with this situation, knowing that it is a water-focused build, or a bit wary of what exactly is to come. Does MBT remember that Werts has 2 Locagons in his build? Oh no, I'm getting PTSD. The beautiful, I believe, stellar artwork of Sparkit does come down. It is going to Nexus off of the Zeus onto the Elechick, and Mostation Locagon Earthquake is revealed. What a grip to have your opponent know exists. Takes out a second Okay, not taking out a second Earthquake. He looks like MBT might be deliberating on the pull, but all 3 of these are fantastic options. So it looks like he went to go look at his back row. We're going to see what he decides, and the Moss Station is the one that he opted to let go. Interesting, or rather to pull out of Werts' hand. I guess he was really worried about the stats, but he didn't see a Galaxy. Interesting play. Maybe he just didn't want to deal with the big body. Maybe he can't get over no, he had Zeus on the field. He definitely could have gotten over it. Interesting decision. I probably would have chose Earthquake myself. And Earthquake is immediately casting down. I'm assuming that's going for the Sparkit, but the unfortunate thing is that there is 2 more in the deck. Oh, divine blessing! The spicy tech that MBT played early on, he hard called it, and that was perfect. That was the reason why he was not worried, and he gets the Nexus from or is it a disenchant? I forget the actual residual effect of divine, whether you need the nexus or reveal, but still a fantastic play. Galaxy goes in for the attack, and battle step Gorgon's Gaze is going to take out the Galaxy. This is a hard situation for Werts to be in because every play Werts has, MBT has the answer. He cannot get himself going in either way. Not to mention the fact that he just lost 3 spirits in that one turn. And then a Toxion, just adding insult to injury. Toxion onto gives a burn, and then nexusing onto the Toxion, giving another burn. Now we have 4 enchanting spirits on board, and I guess either the hand, I'm guessing the hand was taken. I just didn't see it. And then Ambrosia off of the Toxion. I feel like that may be a bit more preemptive. I think there is a world where you could argue you just keep the 4 spirits on board, set Ambrosia as a bluff because you just spent 2 back row, and you go from there. That way you still have an ability to Nexus without disenchanting a Elestral on board or completely disenchanting it. But in any case, we do have... Oh! Crochet Drataya! Look at it! I'm sorry, I went away from commentator for a second and I just went straight. That thing is so cute. Oh, it's so amazing. 5 spirit, fully revealing that he has 5 spirits in his spirit deck. I don't know if I would fan my spirit deck out like that. I wouldn't give my opponent the, just don't encourage them to know how much is left. Have them ask. It's not deceptive, it's more so just don't give them the free information. But in any case, Toxion does receive another spirit from enchanting, and we have Drataya sitting there with the 2/4. We have another switch Nexus onto Toxion to burn for another spirit, taking out the Elechick. And now with 3 spirits left, looks like that's a pass. Okay, no pass. It looks like the play is still going at this point. 3 spirits to Werts. Wait, did he just attack for dominance? He attacked for dominance. Ambrosia does play out. Major play here for Werts. Does get him back up to 5 spirits. This can be the turnaround. Let's see what he opts to bring back. It looks like it's a Thunder, Earth, and Earth as well. So curious to know if he has... Oh, Ambrosia and Drataya. I didn't even think about it. And Ambrosia again. Wait a minute. He is going in. Werts is alive and well. He does have a play. The flowers are blooming. Looks like it's a water, and maybe water again. Does he dig into an Ambrosia Cornucopia? Because that would be another add of 2 spirits and another draw 2. Tell me you Ambrosia Cornucopia! And MBT is molding right now. He is testing the length of his hairline. Is my hair still there? Because I am starting to lose it all. 2 spirits, pretty hefty cost, but also healing 2 thanks to 2 Ambrosias in the underworld, meaning that this is just a draw 1 card and then draw 2 more. So now the question is, what all did Werts dig into? 6 cards, 7 cards in this one turn, and setting a plethora of back row. Drataya as well. Boo! Can we boo in the comments for him getting rid of the crochet Drataya, please? In any case, Foamy is going to cast out here. So here's the thing. Toxion is still there to burn for spirits. But now you have some decent defense sitting on the field as well. You need to get offense up and get Toxion out one way or another. Whether or not the back row is a shield or anything, it needs to be done. He is going to Nexus and get rid of the Rise from the Depths in his hand. Not seeing Atlantis. Rise from the Depths is a difficult card to utilize because you do need the Stadium Injunction with it as well. And if you cannot pull that together, then you're going to be, well, you're kind of stuck while you look for what you really need. We do have a Thunder Spirit hitting the field. Estrada is going to play. The big defense is starting to build up from Werts, and I think he's starting to get to his game plan. The question is, will he be able to get Lakagon out? Because Sparky is right there. Unless that face down he has now is Gorgon's Gaze. We do have Sparky who's going to Nexus, likely off of Sparky back onto the Toxion. Not only getting the hand rip, oh, no cards in hand. I love how he did that. No cards in hand. We do have the Toxion burn, and that's going to put Werts down to 4. I'm guessing that there's no way NBT has to get over the field. Maybe if he can cast out a Mount Olympus again, it'd be fantastic for him. Ambrosia, excuse me, my mind broke there for a second. Ambrosia off of the Toxion is going to go through and allow NBT to heal up 3 spirits. And it looks like he's checking his back row to see what spirits he may need. Can I wait to see what he opts for there, but he does get his spirits back, and now it's the 3 Thunder is going to be the play. And if you guys did not notice, Werts did get the draw too because Ambrosia was played. Drataya draws whenever any player casts Ambrosia, not just the caster or the player of Drataya. So and the face down Ambrosia Cornucopia. Now, fortunately for MBT, Ambrosia Cornucopia does not recall spirits for every Ambrosia in either graveyard, only the caster's underworld. So we has a benefit there, but I do believe there are 3 in his underworld right now, bringing him back up to 5. And this fruit engine is doing everything that Werts needed it to do. He's going to be able to dig into 3 more, and if he's able to cast out into Lotagon now, this will be the perfect time. Dratagua coming out. I wonder if he does have the other Lotagon in hand. No, because if he did, I feel like he would have casted it out immediately, so it cannot be ripped out. But he is going to heal up too, and at this point, the mid to late game power that Drataya Ambrosia can bring to a caster is on full display. Because he was down and out not long ago, and now Werts is maybe not top of the world, but is holding his own. Absolutely holding his own. Are going to be Spark-It Nexusing to get a hand rip out, and the Lotagon is in his hand, along with a Sluggle, Drataya, and Estrada, and the Lotagon, the second Lotagon, and unbeknownst to MBT, the final Lotagon has now been pulled out of his hand. I feel like there's an argument to cast out Lotagon over the Foamy that turn, but I guess he wanted to value the healing of Dratagua more than just the destruction of Lotagon. But still, I just feel like there is an argument for it. In any case, though, we now have a second Spark-It has hit the field. Did not even notice that. Using the Shattered Stars art. I mean, that set has just been incredible, paying dividends for the people who subscribe to Shattered Stars and shop.elestrals.com. Sluggle does cast out and is going to return up to 3 Water Spirits. So the fantastic play. Actually casting out over the Drataya. Okay. So maybe he feels like he can't dig into anything else. This game has gone into a war of attrition, but Gorgon's Gaze, taking 1 off of Toxion and 1 from the Spirit deck, is going to stop the Sluggle. Sluggle now is not going to be able to heal 3, keeping Werts at 4, and with, I believe, 4 or 5 Ambrosia being spent, he is definitely reaching the end of his deck right now. He's going to have to get some sort of offense going on, so let's see what he can possibly pull out. But a Zeus once again coming out from Spark-It, and this is massive because now it's going to start lowering the stats of the Elestrals that Werts is relying on for his defense. Spark-It Nexus, Drataya, and Estrabit are in the grip. MBT is thinking about it. I mean, the play right now, I feel like it's simple. You take out Estrabit and you take out a Drataya with the second Nexus. Unless you want to focus more so on the burn of Toxion, which is absolutely possible. Burning 2 per game and just leaving the back row to do what the back row wants to do. Not the back row, but the Elestrals do what they want to do. Another burn from Toxion as well, and I'm assuming that's going to net a hand rip. Yes, it will. And wonder if he wants to take out the Drataya this time. Takes out both Dratayas instead of an Estrabit. Guess he's not worried about the defensive power of Bunny as well, at all. Is going to disenchant from the Zeus to weaken what I assume to be the Estrabit, but it could also be the Dratagua as well. So now the Zeus is already gone. Spent up with 3 and spent immediately. Oh, and now we have the Stadium coming out. The Stadium Mount Olympus is exactly what he needed right now, because now the Spark-Its go to 5 and the Toxion goes to 7 attack. The back row of Werts needs to come out, but I don't think he has enough unless he happens to have a Tsunami face down. That's going to be it. The attack does go through, and Jotagwa is going to the underworld. Let's see who the next attack goes into. We will be seeing 3 Elestrals go down this time. I'm guessing it's going to be everyone but Sluggle, but you could also attack Foamy and just force your opponent to go for the cast out anyway and spend another spirit. But instead, Shield of Achilles is going to meet the attacking Elestral, and that's going to, unless there's something in hand. Let's see, no chains of Prometheus, so the Sparket is going to return to hand. But he does have one more Sparket. 3 Elestrals will not be going down this turn, and no, the other Sparket does not attack at all. Interesting. Well, we do have a draw from Werts. 1 spirit is left in the underworld. Resting on your laurels from the Sluggle is going to destroy one of the Elestrals, and I believe it's going to be Sparket here by effect dictating so. And wow, he's looked well, just very stressed right now. I don't know if he's thinking about it. He might be considering a Divine Blessing. MBT might be holding on to the second Divine Blessing right here. Let's see if he flips that up. Oh, a lot of deliberation from our casters right now. Werts thought it would be done and over. Altar of Stars! Going to alter off of the Sparket onto the Toxion, I'm assuming, which is going to get another burn off, and that's going to leave MBT able to win on the next game. But instead takes off of the stadium and goes on the Toxion. Interesting. I mean, it does work, but it does make me intrigued as to why he chose to do that right now. And the Sparket is going to go down. I feel like if the Sparket would have went down already, you could have taken off the Sparket, went to Toxion, and then Laurels would have resolved and destroyed the Sparket. So I don't know why he undervalued the stadium here. Not sure, but it looks like Werts is going to go on and concede. I think he attacked with the Foamy into the Toxion. That is going to send us into game 2. Werts is going to be leading game 2, and we have a back row set. Also, shout out to using the Emperowatts sleeves. We love that. Werts, absolute team player. 2 back row set and a Smoltuga digging. Wait, was it Smoltuga in the side deck? I'll pull that up in a second, but I'm pretty sure that proves that he did lean into the Smoltuga side for this one. And yes, we do have confirmation that Smoltuga was from the side deck, so he probably leaned straight into the Eruption build this time. So we have the search for Nekruff. And now Jolton is going to cast out. Very good play for MBT here, because now we're going to know that we're going to be able to have him have the offense he needs to get over these defensive Elestrals. A slow build at first, but once he gets the Elestrals and the Enchanting Spirits on board, this deck will be incredibly difficult to stop. So if Werts is able to go in, he has to go in right now. Do not let Jolton develop. Do not let anything develop. Even if you're just getting through the back row, that's going to be necessary. Stellar Stars Art Nekruff with a Thunder Enchantment. I don't think Nekruff has ever received a fire. Maybe once or twice. That would be a great on a quiz about Elestriad Season 2. How many times was Nekruff properly enchanted? Tsunami is going to cast out and is going to switch the Smoltuga and Jolton to defense. If only that was an Elechek, that means that Smoltuga will be able to run over the Elestral in question. But still, 2-3 back row and a Nekruff in defense is not a terrible place to be. Toxion is going to cast out by MBT, and that's going to allow him to burn for 1. Not to mention, both the Toxion and Jolton are sitting at stat 5. Lycaris is going to be burned out from Werts' Spirit deck, and now Jolton is going to go in. No protection of the Nekruff, which makes sense because you can't protect everything. I think in this scenario, protecting the Water Spirit on board is a lot better, and he is going to Gorgon's Gaze it. I feel like if you're going to Gorgon's Gaze Toxion, you could have done it when the Spirit would have been burned. Because then you save yourself an extra Spirit. Essentially, you could have saved yourself a Spirit. So a slight misplay by Werts there, but maybe he didn't think that far ahead, considering he didn't know the attack targets of the Jolton, or maybe he really wanted to protect the Smoltuga more than anything else, which means that that was a proper play for him. In any case, Sluggo is going to cast out, allowing Werts to heal up 3 water spirits from the underworld. Ambrosia on legs is such a wild concept. Like, it's really just a really good Elestriad that you can cast out and have as an option. Because you can get this from Foamy, you can get it from a normal cast, healing 3. It's not a bad card to have, especially in a Bakugan build. We are going to enchant Toxion again, getting an Earth Spirit burned away from Werts, putting him down to 15. But he is still in a Spirit lead right now. So we're going to see Toxion now go to attack, now sitting with 6 attack, and it is going to get over the Smotuga, Jotun over the Sluggo, and this is exactly the position Werts did not want to find him in. A developed Thunder Nexus board. Although Foamy is pretty good, MBT, even with the nod of approval, saying, yeah, that's pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly what he said. But that is pretty good, as he's going to put up a decent defense that MBT does not want to attack into. So if race to the top is an option, he's going to want to employ it now. Is what I was going to say. And you know what? Some games of Elestrals just kind of goes like this, but your opponent has the play, you always have the answer. And MBT has been showcasing that phenomenally this game. Just not even just game 2, but just this entire match, this clash has just been in MBT's favor. A second Toxion being casted out. Another burn against Werts, and now this one is going to hurt the most because this is 4 points of spirit damage. Again, if Werts has a Tsunami, now is the time. Actually, looking at his list, there is no Tsunami in the list. I was calling out for something that does not even exist. So those attacks are all going to hit. He loses the lead immediately from that. Dratagua is going to cast out, but the issue right now isn't what he's casting out. You need something to take out this Mount Olympus. And right now, we have not seen Werts play any sort of Atlantis. I don't think he's even had it in his hand. That's what makes the Atlantis Rise from the Depth strategy so difficult and high committal to, because getting both of those cards, like, yeah, if you get them, they're great, but you have to get both of those cards. Ambrosia coming out from Werts as well, really feeling this thing here. Spending an Earth to bring back an Earth and 2 waters. Makes me wonder if Earthquake is an option for him right now. Spending a second Ambrosia. So I feel like at this point, MBT has to be sure that he doesn't have Drataya. Because if he did, Drataya would have been casting out before he did all this. But healing up again. So that's a lot of, I think 8 spirits healed in this turn. Not bad after being down to 8. That was a really good recovery and getting the lead back immediately by spirit count. However, control still needs to be done. Still needs to be had. Another burn by Toxion, just enchanting the Toxion, not even going for a Spark It, which I'm assuming he doesn't have, so just going for this burn damages, and now gets in for, I believe, 4 more points of spirit damage to a direct attack. Yes, 4 points, and now it's the life count is now tied. But board control, it is all MBT. And with Divine Blessing being in the background as well, and Earth Spirit, is that next spin to draw? Oh no, definitely not what you want to see in a game 2. In this scenario, you need to have the Elestriad to cast out. Atlantis is finally played. Is Rise to the Depths or Rise from the Depths also in play as well? No, he has 1 back roll set, and that looks like that's going to be it, which means that he's going to be taking 4, potentially 5 points of damage. Wait a minute. Eruption is coming out. It is not over yet. Water Spirit on the Atlantis. Eruption burns for 3 and puts Werts down to 4. Is that going to be the end of the play? That might have been it. I think we might just be counting spirits right now. No, he is going to be casting out a second Mount Olympus. When you're hot, you're hot. And honestly, I might need to relinquish my name to MBT for a bit, because he is dropping nothing but the finest of sparks all over the field. Enchanting Toxion again, and that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 1 more spirit damage to Werts, and that is going to conclude his time in the Elestriad. Man, MBT showing why he's the captain for a reason. He didn't say I'm the captain now. He's always been the captain. Commanding performance by him in the Thunder Nexus build. I am so glad Tartarus exists. Be gone, Spark It. Even though you weren't in game 2, be gone, Spark It. Cannot wait for the rest of the Elestriad. We have one more quarterfinals to go, and that includes the interloper of the Cryoscorches, Bean Soldier, facing off against Trishula. Let me know who you're cheering for in the comment section below, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the final quarterfinals match of the Elestriad.